Okay, you guys, as you know, there were three young ladies who went on a trip, and we're going to get straight into it. They went on this trip to Cartenga, Colombia, and it was an attempted kidnapping on the three women. So we just gonna jump right into it. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna waste no time. Let's talk about it. Okay. So attempted kidnapping of three women by a taxi driver in Cartenga, Colombia. All right. These three women, they went on this trip, and honestly, they had a lot of red flags that was like pretty much letting them know like their gut instinct plus the red flags was should have been like, hey, I'm not about to go on this trip. Maybe we should cancel it. Okay. Let's first jump into the three red flags that they had. Red flag number one. When they went to the airport, they missed their flight. The other flight was delayed and they ended up having to take another flight. Okay. They were supposed to arrive at a certain time because they were supposed to be at an event and they had a driver who was supposed to pick them up from the airport at a certain time. Okay. So since they didn't get to the airport, since they didn't get to Colombia in time, the ladies they ended up having to take a taxi, which threw a wrench in their plans, basically. So they ended up having to take this taxi or whatever, and basically things started to go left when they got into the taxi. They already had a designated driver to take them to their hotel or the location that they were supposed to be at. Okay, so let's talk about what had happened when they got into this taxi, or what happened with this incident. We're going to talk about what happened with the incident. The incident, a terrifying escape. Three female tourists in Cartenga, Colombia, were nearly abducted by their taxi driver. The driver deviated from their requested route, locking the doors and ignoring their protest. The women quickly realized they were in danger and took decisive action to escape. Okay, so it was three young black women who were almost abducted. Okay, these three black women they were almost kidnapped by a taxi driver, and who knows what he had in store for these women. Okay, now, like I said about the red flags were they kept missing their flight. They flight was delayed. They didn't have the driver that they were supposed to get into the car with, so they had to find out okay how they was gonna get there. They didn't want to take a taxi driver, but they ended up taking a taxi. The reason why they took the taxi was because everybody was saying, or they were told that driving an Uber was illegal over there in Colombia, right? So they didn't want to get in trouble by doing something, in a foreign country. They didn't want to go to jail for nothing like that. So they decided, hey, we're just gonna take this taxi because the designated driver that we were supposed to choose, that we were supposed to go with, was waiting on us at the airport at a certain time because we were supposed to be there. But since they had all these delays and their flights and stuff like that, they didn't make it on time. So another red flag was one of their friends ended up getting over to Colombia, and their luggage didn't make it on the plane. So their luggage was left in Atlanta. They had to call around and figure out, what they were going to do about that situation, as far as retrieving the luggage. Now, that was another gut instinct. All these signs was telling them like maybe when you have these gut instincts, y'all, and your intuition is telling you like, hey, this something ain't right about it. Let's just not. Maybe we just need to cancel. Maybe we need to cancel this trip, and it just might not be your time. When you have these gut feelings, which they were already having, sometimes it just means just it's not meant for you to go. Okay, I listen to my gut feeling all the time, and when it's telling me that something ain't right and that everything is going left when I wanted to go a certain way. When I wanted to go a certain way and it's going left, baby, I take it as a sign that maybe I shouldn't do it, maybe I shouldn't go, or it was just meant for me not to go for whatever reason. I don't know. And later on, you might find out why. But they continued on and pushed through aside from what they were feeling in their guts. Okay, and all the red flags that were occurring. Okay, they ended up getting into this taxi when they arrived, and the first thing that they did was they put their location to where they were supposed to go, which was to a hotel. They put the location into their phone GPS, and when they got into the taxi, they told the man where they were going, and he did not put into the GPS. Okay, another red flag. All right. Number one, I'm grateful that these girls went with a group of girls and it wasn't just one person going by themselves because who knows how many times this occurred out there. You know what I'm saying? Always be safe. If you're going to another country, always bring people with you. Don't be trying to go out here and doing stuff on your own. You know what I'm saying? Let people know where you're going. And it's always better to go with a group. especially if you're a woman. Raising awareness for women. Okay, I always go with a group of women, or when I say this, go with trusted women, people that's gonna have your back, people that's gonna be there for you, baby, that can make quick decisions in case something like this happen. Because baby, they act quickly. They acted very quickly to get away from this situation and whatever. So, with that being said, and if you're gonna be going somewhere, I would highly recommend that you take a man with you if you're going to these foreign countries and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that you won't have to be dealing with certain situations. When a man is present, a lot of time, uh, you know, tourists don't really be getting bothered. You know what I'm saying? When a man is present, but if they find women to be very vulnerable and they take advantage of that, so a lot of women end up getting abducted because they feel like we are easy targets for some reason. But don't make the target easy. Don't make it easy for them, man. Go out there with a group of people that you know, and if you can, take you a man with you or whatever, or take you a travel agent. But just know where you're going, and I always do your research. Okay, so the man was deviating from the route. Number one, he was deviating from the route. The girls was telling them because they did have their GPS out, and they was telling them like, hey, you need to get over here in this lane because we're about to be making a turn. The drive was a 25-minute drive. It was taking them 30 minutes. 10 minutes of that time, they was fighting the man off. But we're going to get to that. But the man was missing turns left and right, and he telling them like, he know where he going or whatever. And luckily for the girl, if she had her GPS out. You know what I'm saying? If she had not had her GPS out, the man probably would have took them somewhere else, and they wouldn't even know. Just solely trusting him to get them to their destination. The man must have got irritated while the girl was watching her GPS and stuff like that, and basically watching the route because he couldn't deviate. And she was like, "Hey, you need to go this way. It's over here, whatever the case may be." So he couldn't deviate, and he got upset. He took both of the girls' phones. He took the girls' phones. One of the other girls was in the back, and she was sleeping, and he didn't take her phone, but he did take their phones, which is crazy. Okay. After the man proceeded to take their phone and was trying to go another direction, baby, they started throwing blows. Okay, left and right, throwing them bows, baby. Okay. Nuck if you buck, cause that's what happened. All right. And they got down to business. All right. They got down to business, and the man was he had to pull the car over because baby, they was throwing them Mike Tyson blows at that boy. And I might put the pictures up here in a little bit of the video or whatever. The girl had her nails broken and stuff, like she was swinging for her life. She was trying to protect her friends. And before they went on the trip and everything like that, the girl was saying that she was talking to her girlfriends and letting them know, like, hey, and if anything was to happen, I got y'all back. I'm gonna go out for y'all because y'all my friends and I love y'all. And that's the type of friends you need around. Okay, and those are the type of people that you need when you're going on trips. Don't be going on trips with these girls that got animosity against you, or it's gonna be a problem when you get there. People that halfway like you, and you get there and now it's beef. Okay, don't be going. We seen enough of them situations where y'all should know by now. Don't be going with people that y'all can't trust, and that ain't gonna have your back. All right. How they escaped, the decisive action that they took was to throw them blows, baby. So they escaped. How they escaped? One of the women pretended to call the police, loudly mentioning their location. Another began banging on the window and screaming and throwing them blows, drawing attention. Their actions startled the driver, who eventually stopped, allowing them to flee. Okay, so they ended up getting out of the car and they just flee from where they were at. All right. Again, they were only 5 minutes away from their hotel, and this ride took 30 minutes. 10 minutes, they was knocking on this man's head. Okay, beating them down for taking their phones, red flag, locking all the doors and stuff like that. So 10 minutes of that time, they was fighting this man off and trying to get out of the car. So at that point, they was only 5 minutes away from their hotel. I'm glad that they made it out safely, but it just goes to say and make more awareness to women. Like when you're going on these trips, make sure you do all your research. Make sure you know where you're going. Make sure you have everything that you know. Make sure everything is certified. You go into these hotels. Social media is a powerful tool now, and I feel like you can learn a lot from the advice and tips that people be giving y'all from social media. Sometimes it's life saving. They tell you all the do's and the don'ts. They tell you where to go, where not to go, and it's just important that you learn these things. But it's also important that you do your research before you start going over into these different countries. Rise in tourist targeting in Cartenga. There has been a reported increase in kidnapping scams and robbery attempts involving tourists. Criminals often pose as legitimate taxi drivers to lure unsuspecting travelers. If similar incidents have surfaced on social media, warning tourists to be extra cautious. Be extra cautious. Listen to your gut instincts. If you feel like something ain't right, get up out of there. I don't care. If you feel like the ride ain't going right, get up out of there. The girl said when they got into the car, that was another red flag for them. When they got into the car, the man ain't say nothing. He didn't put the location into his GPS, and he was not communicating with them. Usually when you get into a taxi ride or something like that, or an Uber or something like that, the people communicate. They say, "Hey, how you doing? Where you going? What brings you here?" Blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So it was a red flag for them. And the girl was saying, like, she was saying that the driver kept looking back and looking back and stuff like that. She didn't really pay no mind to it because she was saying, like, over here in that country, the men could be very flirtious. So she didn't really pay no mind to it, and she ain't say nothing to the man. But he kept looking back and looking back at them and stuff like that, and giving weird vibes or whatever. So again, trust your gut instinct. Trust your instincts, and, like, if you feel like it ain't safe, just get up out of there. All right. Be cautious wherever you going. Do your research. That was a sign just to say maybe y'all need to reschedule. Maybe y'all need to go. I mean, at this point, you only paying for a flight. Get your refund back for whatever else you might have paid for, because maybe it's just not worth you going. But they made it through this lesson, and hopefully next time they, heed the warnings and listen to their instincts. Okay. And that's for anybody else. Like, if you got these feelings that something might not be right or you shouldn't go, listen to your instincts. It's telling you something. Share your ride details. Let someone know your location and destination in real time. Share your information. Tell your family member where you going. Tell your friend, hey, I'm about to do this. I'm about to do that. If you out there being sneaky, baby, it is not worth it. Okay, take somebody with you. Let somebody know where you at. Don't be just out here doing stuff in another country and you don't know where you going. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't know what's going on out there. Even if you in the States, like, let people know where you going. Like, there is no reason why you shouldn't be letting people know where you going, and you just going out here on a whim. And again, if you being sneaky, baby, just know that whatever comes with you being sneaky comes with you being sneaky. But let people know where you going. Let people know what you're doing. You should. It's important that let people know these days. It's too much stuff going on, and people need to know where you are. I'ma share my location every time, or I'ma let motherfuckers know where I'm at, or I'ma let people know where I'm going. Family members, friends, my husband, whatever. They gonna know. Okay, just in case. You never know what's going on. You just never know. So share your location, and it be your friends. Even if y'all make it to the hotel, and you going down to get some ice, baby. Let your friend know, hey, I'm about to go downstairs to get some ice. Or matter of fact, do you want to come with me to go downstairs to get some ice? Let me go get a drink, or whatever the case may be. I'm about to go get some food. Let your friends know these things, because even when you going down to get that little thing of ice, or you going down to go get a drink, I mean, it be people watching. It be people in the area, and you just don't want to be lacking. You know what I'm saying? You never know what's going on, and even if you're going down to the bar or something just to get a drink by yourself, and it's in a hotel, and you don't feel like it's a big deal for you to tell your friends, like, let your friends know, because people get stuff slipped in their drinks, and you could be a lost cause just by that. All right. So don't be always trying to be doing stuff on your own. Well, I'm grown, so I'm gonna do this on my own. You came with your friends, so do the things with your friends. Okay. So let them know where you're going. Trust your instincts, period. If a driver is acting suspiciously, exit the vehicle in a safe public area before the situation escalates. Okay? In their case, the situation escalated 5 minutes away from their hotel, baby, but they did what they needed to do. You know what I'm saying? And they made sure that they got up out of there and they made it back home safely. And I'm glad that they made it home safely, and they did what they needed to do to protect one another. They fought for their lives. And, they just raising awareness by letting everybody else know on social media, because it's going around and it's floating on social media so other people could know before they go to these places. So the victim story went viral on TikTok and YouTube, alerting others to the danger. Okay, again, like I said, TikTok and social media platforms are very important. Okay, it's like you get this information, and it be important information, stuff that you need to know, safety information at that, especially when you're going to another country or when it's traveling information. It's very important that y'all pay attention to that, but also use your internet and get that research. Do a deep dive into your to where you going. Don't be just going out there on a whim. I'm about to go here, and it's 2 weeks later. I'm about to go here, and we about to just go fly out. You should, if you go into another country, you should definitely be doing a deep dive into that country, what it is that you need to know before you get there, and, like, it's just important to know. Don't just be going out there talking about you about to go out there 2 days from now. I planned a trip to Cabana or whatever, Mexico, and you don't know nothing about Mexico. You can't speak the language or nothing. When they went over there to Colombia, they were saying that it was a language barrier, a very strong language barrier. So, you know what I'm saying? It's important that y'all know where y'all going. Try to have y'all some type of interpreter or a travel agent before you go to these places because you don't ever know what people talking about. You know what I'm saying? Sitting right in front of you talking crazy on the phone, about to talk about they about to get you kidnapped. Anything. Who knows? Social media has become a powerful tool for safety and travel, helping spread awareness about real life risks. Tourists should stay informed on local crime trends before visiting new destinations. I don't know if they did this. Usually when people are going to look at these new places that they want to visit, they look at how beautiful the place is, where the hotel gonna be at, where the beach at, this and that and the other, and they don't do a deep dive into the crime and whatever's going on in those areas. Do your research. It is very important that you do your research before you think about going to another country. Or like I said, even if you in the United States, baby, if you're over here in the United States, it's still some areas out here that you don't know about. It's stuff that you don't know that you should be doing you should be doing research on. Do your research because even out here, crazy stuff can occur. So I would say I always keep your friends in the loop. Let them know like, hey, you going somewhere? We doing this, and if you're gonna be traveling for the women, for sure. If you're traveling out here and you're a woman, make sure that you're traveling with friends. Make people aware that you're coming. You know what I'm saying? Like when I do my traveling, like if I know my husband not coming, I'm usually going to the places where I know I'm going where my family is or friends are. You know what I'm saying? I'm always letting him know, hey, I'm about to go here and I'm about to be calling them and I'm letting them know in advance, hey, I'm coming out there, do 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 do. You know what I'm saying? I'm letting him know. And then when I get there, I'm calling them, hey, I made it, woo woo woo. Or he calling me, did you make it? And I'm like, yeah, I made it. I'm here where I said I'm gonna be. And that's just that. Even when I move around, like I'm always letting him know, like I'm about to go over here and see such and such, and whatever the case may be. I don't really play around when I say I'm about to be somewhere. I'm where I'm about to be. You know what I'm saying? I say that I do that because it's a lot of stuff going on out here, and I'm not traveling with my husband, and I want to be safe. I don't care, even if I'm with my friends or my family. Even if I'm with my friends and family, I want him to know that I'm safe. I want my family to know that I'm safe. I want my friends to know that I'm safe. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like you should be letting people know where you're going. Let somebody know. Don't just be out here thinking just because you're grown, you don't need to let people know where you are. You know what I'm saying? It's very important. Let people know where you are. Let people know where you're going, or have your location on so that people will know. Okay, this is the last place I saw her. So a lot of stuff happen, even with friends. Like that, people be saying they're your friends and stuff like that, and with them, things happen. You know what I'm saying? If you got friends like that that'll set you up and stuff like that, like at least like I got my location on. I told my mama or I told my brother that I was gonna be here, and this better be the last place they check, or the first or the last place they check. For the women, be safe out there when you're traveling. Take somebody with you. Don't always want to go travel by yourself. It's okay to travel by yourself, but if you're going to do it the right way. Let people know where you are. Let your family know. Let your friends know. Somebody close to you know. Whatever. Do what you got to do. And then when you go into these places, make sure you taking the right precautions. You know what I'm saying? Be where you're supposed to be. Make sure you're doing your research if you're going overseas and stuff like that. And enjoy your time if you can. But trust your instincts also. At the end of the day, it's just girls talk, small talk, like it or leave it, period.